guys, I'm Jiaoying Summers. Welcome to Tiger Milf Podcast. Being a woman in comedy, like what is your rules, like your own rules that you apply to yourself as a female comedian that's successful and rich and powerful and have long legs and also have sex toys, which I'm gonna get for free.
Yes. I'm like beating myself up. I didn't bring you one. I like know what one I want you to have too. It's called the Lucy. It's like a great starter toy.
Oh my God.
I named after the daughter I'll never have.
Oh, cute. Lucy's pretty name.
It's pretty. It's my mom's name's Lucinda, so we named after that.
Lucy Lewis.
So rules like that I apply to myself or like how I do comedy.
You learned it through like all of the times that when it's hard for you, so you have a rule that you apply to yourself. That because some people who wanted to get into comedy, I feel like they can learn and they can kind of be inspired by what you would share.
So I think that the thing I always say about rules of comedy is that there are no rules, and I think that people that tell you have to do it a certain way are full of shit. Like that's just not everybody has the same process of writing, or some people don't write at all, you know, they just have a thought, they go up on stage and perform it. Some people sit down and write every day. I think so that's, you know, some people took like a course and some people that did it, you know. I just think how you get into it is that's not mine. Okay. I just think everybody has a different story of how they got into it. There's no one path. And then it's also changing in terms of people just, you know, maybe blowing up the internet for something else, then backtracking and deciding to do stand-up, or there's just so many different ways to go about it. And the thing I hate the most is like people that have that more traditional old school mindset of like, you have to do it this way. You have to write jokes this way and perform them this way. It's like, that's not it. I mean, so many people are like joke punchline comedians. Some people are storytellers, and it's just all. So that's kind of the thing that I've always especially learned over the years is like people that try to tell you this is how it's done. It's like, well, I'm not doing it that way.
No Robert for them.
Yeah. But I mean, the thing that I feel like didn't know, or I guess I learned a little later in my comedy career, was just how important it is to just do it more and get better. You know, like when I was in Atlanta and I started, I didn't go up that much. And it's like, I look back, I was like, I just wasn't good. Like, I think I had some raw talent for sure. I think I had some good jokes, but I joke that I really just got good in like the summer of 2021 when I was just, the stand was putting me up like every night. And I just committed to like giving avails as much as possible and like running material over and over, getting so much better. That's when I really started to lean into doing crowd work and just became, I think, a good comedian. You know, if I would look back and be like, it hadn't clicked yet for me. And that was just like doing the reps, feeling so comfortable on stage. I used to get more anxiety before I would go up on stage. And so it's not like a hot take that practice makes perfect, but
yeah, it's amazing.
And for me, I mean, my favorite part about it is just being able to take negative experiences and turn them into stories on stage, or things that may happen, like breakups, people that might hurt your feelings, like mean things people say to you. I mean, I used to do so much material and like the nastiest things people said to me on the internet, you know, or like, it's just that's the best thing that we get to do.
Yeah,
it's like,
amazing.
It's cathartic. Like it's actual therapy that we get to turn our pain into laughs, you know, like as long as you're not like masking and your trauma, I guess. But I really feel like it is cathartic.
Yeah. Wow. It's so inspiring. I feel because I bought a club so I can go on stage 10 hours a day to get better, because I believe like the more you do, the better you get. So that's always
the only way. Like, if you don't think that, you're wrong. That's the one thing I will say.
Yeah.
No one's gonna tell. Like, that is the secret. You know.
Yeah.
Like,
I then just feel like on social media, I tell my jokes, try my materials on social media, and all the shitty things people say to me, and I can talk about it on stage. And I think it's so right now you can say anything to me. I really don't care anymore. I'm like, oh my God, that's good to talk about. That's
yes.
Funny. Oh, so I just
I like have to do that. Like I have to, if something hurts my feelings or makes me feel bad, or you know, I go through a breakup or whatever, it's like I have to figure out how I can turn this around and make it a positive for me.
Yeah.
I love what you said about having that moment where you feel like a click for you.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like a lot of comedians, it takes some minute, like for me, a couple of years in for sure, but I had that moment and it really changed. And I think it's just getting in that flow of doing it, religiously and
Totally.
figuring out, it's just that moment where everything, you're experimenting, you're trying to grow, and then you take that moment where it just happens and you're like, oh my God, wait, I think I understand kind of at least my process of when I get up there.
Yeah.
And I think that makes a big difference for every single person as a comic, because it's different for every single person.
Yeah. And like having, being able to pivot on stage. I mean, and like when I first started comedy, it was always like so rigid because I didn't have that much material. You start comedy, you have like 5 minutes or whatever. Maybe you have 8, then you have 10. Like you kind of have to just, like early in my career, I think most people feel this way. I wouldn't know what to do if someone told me to stretch. I'd be like, I don't have it, or like everything was like super planned out. And like when you get to where you have, I mean, I definitely have like 90 minutes I feel comfortable to work from. You can just pick and choose what you want to do. And like, you can go up and not wing it, but like feel comfortable pivoting in the moment, being able to feel out the crowd, oh, I don't think they're going to like that. Maybe I'll do this. And I mean, I just remember, a good friend of mine, Giulio Gallerati, he's a comic. I love Giulio. I mean, he's just the best. Said to me that summer 2021, like I remember sitting, and he was just like, you really should try to do more crowd work. He was like, I just think you're so funny just to talk to in general. Like, just try to stray more from your jokes. He wasn't saying it as like, he just was complimenting me. And I took it to heart. And that summer, I mean, oh my God, I was just on the patio. Like, it was like no fucks. It was like just coming out of COVID. And it was just these like patio shows that I just was like, I don't care. I'm on the street. Like people are, this sucks. Like people are walking through. It's like I just decided to take it into this like training camp for myself almost, where I was like, I'm going to be here every night and just working this shit out and then it did just click.
That's amazing. I feel like at the patio, people walking around chaotic is
it's
the
an
environment
uphill battle.
to test a real comedian.
I think I feel like I literally picture it. I visualize it like running uphill to train for a race, like running through the mud when it's so many challenges. It like, if you just perform at really easy, fun shows, packed crowds every night, like how are you ever going to get good? You don't even know if you're good.
Yeah,
you're on the fucking patio in the middle of the summer,
as a stand.
People are walking through.
Oh my God.
You're like, this is
talking
hard.
Yeah, and that's like walking out. When the my manager 3 Arts, they want to see me at the final show before like they sign me, I like see me in the main room at the stand, and then they decided to see me at the patio. I'm like, and then people are walking around. I'm like, that's it, and bye. That's fuck this, and then I killed, and then we just
on the patio.
deal. Yeah, because I don't want to see you. I saw you killing the big room.
Yeah,
and I know
can you kill
it.
On this fucking patio?
Yeah,
and then I
that was
doing the patio.
That's why the patio is
yeah. I was like, I'm graduating myself from the patio.
It's true though, because you're competing with so many different, and it teaches you to how really to hold. I think outside of the jokes and I think in terms of being a performer, it teaches you in those situations when you're dealing. Like I performed in like a subway car in New York during that was horrible. Yeah, I mean I loved it. It was great, but it teaches you to like center the crowd and pull everybody in and have strong chops as a performer outside of being funny, of course, because you're dealing with so many obstacles. There's a rat dying over here.
Literally, I've had a rat run across.
Yeah.
Which is also like a blessing. That's so fucking funny to address the rat.
I've performed in clubs where there's rats in the room in New York, and I was afraid to say it because I didn't want to get the club in trouble, but became so unbearable. I was like, who bought their pet here tonight? Because it was literally running around the room, and I saw it from the stage, and I tried to ignore it for like the first 7 minutes, and I said, I can't.
I mean, I love there's nothing better than when it's just flowing seamlessly. You're at like Comedy Works in Denver, the best club in the world. And you're like, am I Chappelle? Like, am I this good? Where it's just like, it's so loud, the laughs, you can't even believe it. You're like, I'm the best comic in the world. But like, it also feels good to be like, I'm fucking working up here. Like, I'm sweating. I am like pulling it out of somewhere to make these people laugh. Like I like both. I mean, you have to be up against challenges. And I think that like the one thing I always want to tell somebody, I feel like a lot of people have this similar story of going to like a mic and seeing comedy at the lowest level at an open mic and being like, oh, I can do that. Because I think when people think about wanting to start comedy, they are like at the cellar and they're like, how could I ever? And it's like those people have been doing comedy for probably 10 plus years, most of them. Like this is not where you start. This is like where you finish. So I think that if you are like how do I get involved? Like just go to like the lowest level
Mhm.
open mic and see where people actually start. And that's what
Yeah.
I did. I went to this open mic in Atlanta and like we went to see this girl who was starting comedy and I was like, oh, I can do that. Like
Mhm.
I think that's what people like gets too intimidated. And it's like it starts at such a different level than what you see at
Yeah.
a club, at
Yeah.
a paid show that you've gone to. Those
Yeah.
people took them so many years to get there.